Chainlink, with the rest of the cryptos, made that dreaded lower low, and things turned really bearish over the past several weeks for not just cryptos, but the whole stock market. But have we had a bottom? Are we ready to rally just yet? Stay tuned to find out. In our last update for Chainlink, we had what looked like a promising upside pattern, but caution was warranted, as I was advising, because most of the cryptos were actually showing a downside setup imminent. And thus far, we've seen that exact thing happen. We've actually had a lower low in Chainlink. We've gone as low as 529, and the bounce ever since has not looked particularly bullish. And well, it's not the only crypto that looks like that, although we've seen more bullish action in other cryptos. So this is the 30-minute chart. And as usual, I will have my charts posted in the description below. So check for those links there for the short-term and the long-term chart. Right now, we have what could be counted as three waves up in A, B, C, as we see in red. If that is the case, we may have a little bit higher to go, and then we may get a lower low, or we've already started our descent down a bit lower, but you can already see some divergences forming with the slightly lower low here, and not as stretched of an MACD. So there's some signs that maybe we don't have that follow through. Otherwise, our alternate pattern is that we have kind of an ugly ending diagonal setting up. We could count this as a 1, 2, 3, fourth wave coming, maybe a little lower to go, with the fifth wave further out. So that's a little dubious at best. Another interesting observation, and maybe a third alternative, could be that, well, that this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we already have a leading diagonal here. So that would count as 5 up and 3 down. And maybe we're in the middle of the third of a third, something like that. So numerous different interpretations. If that's the case, well, we should be turning around pretty quickly. Expect this thing to get to about 844 if we are following that third alternate pattern. So I'm not going to put that even on the chart right now. Right now, it's looking more like it could be a diagonal up, but we've seen better action in some of the other cryptos. So I'm going to look at Bitcoin real quick, just to show you guys how this looks a bit more promising. This looks like we have 3 up, and possibly we may be in the middle of a fourth wave. You could count this as the top third wave, fourth wave, and a fifth wave, or this is the third wave, fourth wave flat, and a fifth wave up. So we may have 5 up in Bitcoin, although I would like to see a little higher to be more confident. Ethereum has a possibly even better setup. You got a 1, 2, third wave that went higher than expected, and it had a bit of a fourth wave triangle look going, although we've descended a little bit lower than I'd like to see in a triangle, but doesn't mean we can't still get a higher high. Some of the other coins have a bit more ambiguity. So this is Bitcoin Cash. Really nothing particularly clear here. We could count this as a 5-wave impulse off the ultimate low. Dash actually gives us a cleaner look. This actually looks far more convincingly impulsive. You got a 1, 2, third, fourth, and a fifth. So we have some hope that this could be the real deal. Now, shifting back to Chainlink, as I mentioned, we want to see a reversal relatively soon. I really wouldn't want us to break about, what is this, about 650. That's 0.5 extension. If we are to have more of an impulsive upside left, I know I just mentioned that third pattern. I might as well draw it here. So you probably call this a 1, 2, maybe a 3, a third up here, fourth, and a fifth. I'm actually going to color this differently. That would be the more bullish expectation. So expect that to go higher than where we are. So again, it's a smaller probability at the moment. I'm actually going to put this, make this a lower degree just to give you guys a better idea of what that looks like. So that is the small term picture. Big picture, we haven't really changed too much besides the fact that we've had a slightly lower low. We didn't quite make the lower lows that other cryptos have made. And you can see that we're still maintaining this MACD divergence. So that's good. As we've gone lower, this has been continually rising upwards. And when we look at this closer, we did fall through the bottom of the box, but we've essentially hit a triple bottom right around that 528 mark. So that tells me that's a pretty strong support. And well, 3 tests of support, and it hasn't been able to break down through it. It's making it more and more likely that that's all we're going to get. We're not going to get any lower. Assuming that is our low so far, or that will continue to be our low, we have our Fibonacci extension tool built out here, and we are targeting, of course, just standard targets between the 0.32 and 0.61 extension. That's what this whole box is. And I'm actually going to adjust this to lower it based on the slightly lower low that we did hit. So that brings us down a little bit down again. So we're looking for possibly a top around $50. That was about pretty close to our all-time high. Now, Chainlink has less history than other coins, so it's harder to make a projection on the situation, what we expect. I actually haven't done this particular trick on this coin yet, but I'm actually going to assume that this is a third wave top. And if we assume this is a third wave top and the subsequent correction is a 30% retrace off of that, that could give us a rough estimate as to how much higher we expect to get. And this doesn't always yield the best results. And based on that, typically you see an extension to the 0.382 to the 0.618 extensions of the larger 3-4, if that is a 3-4. And we've gone well beyond that. So I don't know if it's a very good approximation. Why do I care about that? I always use Dash as my representative of the long-term picture. But when we look at this coin, especially these that have a longer history, this 2018, 2017 top was clearly a bigger third wave, with the first wave preceding the existence of many of these younger coins. So if that's the case, we should only have one more wave left, fifth wave, and therefore many of these younger coins I'm reinterpreting as if they're also in a fifth wave. A lot of you talk about how the big coins can suck down the altcoins. We may see something like that. Bitcoin Cash, same thing. We have no history before 2017, although I am assuming that is a third wave top, even though it didn't exist before that, before the fork. So shifting back to Chainlink, we should have one more rally to go. This box is still the target. And if we are expecting a final fifth wave top, fifth of this larger pattern, there's a lot of confluence in this blue box. Again, if we assume that this is actually a first wave, as I've listed here, that puts our top expectations between $50 and 107. Lots of confluence in this box. So again, we got some excitement here because we're starting to see some sentiment shifting. We've had some pretty good developments in the stock market, which I actually have floating around the background right here. We're in a bit of a possibly a fourth wave consolidation before we get a final fifth wave up, but no guarantees yet. If we do rally, I expect this fully to take impulsive form, because we've had pretty much nothing but impulses for the entire history of Chainlink, unlike some of the other coins. So we need to see a 5-wave rally, ideally up to about $18, but anything short of that would be sufficient, as long as it's a clear 5-wave impulse pattern. And then once we have a pullback, that would be a great buying opportunity. I know I have two different patterns on this box. I guess the orange alt will stay. That would call for a lower low. If you're looking to buy, maybe you've bought, maybe you've been buying. I've been advising to everyone, if you are into altcoins, don't buy just one. It's very risky. It's just like speculative stocks. Gradually buy several different kinds of coins. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And the safest thing you can do is wait for a 5-wave impulse and a pullback to give you that final buying opportunity. Again, there's plenty of overhead rally potential if we do get that that initial 5-wave impulse in a 3-wave pullback, because you could go from $11 to $50 or $60 just on the third wave alone. So no reason to rush ahead until we have more of a conclusion to this pullback. Gonna have plenty more updates coming your way for Chainlink. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe so that you don't miss the future updates. Till next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.